Hi, this is Onyx, Full Throttle Onyx. So I know that most of our topics have been more intensely sexual, but today we're going to talk about aftercare in the context of BDSM and why aftercare is important. So for my like personal stories, if you want the more raw, uncut version of the story, like really explicit, really sexual, you can find that you can subscribe to my Patreon. It starts at $3 a week for an audio story a week. And also, like, I do bi-monthly Q&A sessions, live one-on-ones, you get voting privileges, all sorts of good stuff. So please subscribe to my Patreon. Okay, so I'm just kind of speaking off the cuff here, but aftercare is really important if you're going to be doing BDSM stuff, especially if you're a top and if you're in the dominant role. So I personally am a switch, but when I'm topping, I always try to practice aftercare. So what is aftercare? It's just taking care of your submissive after a scene. You know, I mean, it can be getting them water or a snack. It can be cuddling. It can just be, you know, kind of chatting with them and calming them down and just kind of bringing the vibe down to a chiller level. But basically it's just taking care of them in whatever way they need to be taken care of, you know? And sometimes it can be very abrupt for someone to go from like having like the shit beat out of them to going back into normal life. So this is kind of that transition. This is like, so you don't just go from like wham, 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 like, okay, back out to the party. It's like, okay, you just, you know, you cuddle for a little while, you chill for a little while. It just feels really nice, you know, there's just like this sense of intimacy and what's it called? The oxytocin hormones, you can just feel them flowing. It's just a really nice contrast. I personally, you know, I mean, I love like really rough sex, but I also love cuddling. So I think it's just really nice to have the rough sex and the violent sex and then the cuddling after. But I think it's good for you mentally too, because I think otherwise it's just a bit too abrupt, you know? Okay, well, anyway, if you're interested in getting, the more explicit, raw, uncut version of any of my stories, you can subscribe to my Patreon. Please subscribe to my Patreon. There's all sorts of other benefits too, all sorts of other tiers. But basically you get the raw, uncut stories if you want all the really explicit details. And, you know, also there's like a live Q&A. You can get one-on-one access to me, all sorts of stuff like that. Okay, so please subscribe to my Patreon. You can do it in the video description or the pinned comment. Thank you so much and have a great day.